Okay, a few minutes later than I'd like, but I had to get the video for yesterday cut. I really can't do them at the end of the day, and it always seems to cause trouble if I fall behind. Let's hope this is an easy hitch. I am stressing a little more than usual just due to the permit situation. So basically, I have to get a walk-in for the 16th, which is tomorrow night. And then I have a sequence that will get me through Yosemite with like 24, 23 mile days, which is about what I want to do and works great as long as nothing goes wrong. It'll also let me avoid a potentially time-wasting hitch into Grant's Village, which does apparently have some sort of a buffet. And hey, I could really use town food, but I kind of need to keep an eye on my calendar here. It is now mid-August, and while I am quite happy with all the decisions I made as far as redlining, going through sections like this, Butte, etc., there is southern Colorado looming. Per most of what I've heard, I need to get through there by end of September. Otherwise, I probably won't be able to do the San Juans. And honestly, if I'm not able to do something because it's not safe due to weather, that's one thing. I just don't want to be missing out on some of the best parts of the trail because I'm afraid of that. And schedule-wise, these things are always a roiling crapshoot anyway. You just can't anticipate things like the issues I was having with the shoes, which slowed me down a bit. At the moment, when I have to do math, I'm roughly estimating somewhere in the 22 to 25 mile a day range, because that seems like a reasonable amount, though sometimes these 22 mile days kick the ever-living crap out of me. And the moment you start estimating 25s, and you're falling behind, and that tends to be highly stressful. So basically, from the get-go, I just act like I'm running out of time. So I just watch how many days I take off and things like that. I've seen people who take a week or two off in the middle of their hike, and yeah, it sounds great, get a rest, etc., but A, that would drive me crazy because by that point I kind of got the tempo going, and sitting still for more than 2 days kind of has me itching to move forward again. And just schedule-wise, if I'd taken, just a handful of days off on the PCT, I would have got caught behind all those fires. So whenever somebody says they're taking like a week off, I kind of assume they're either really fast or their goal really isn't to do, end-to-end through hike. This is also hopefully the last hitch I'm going to have to make in Idaho. There have apparently been sheriffs harassing hikers, saying that hitchhiking is illegal in Idaho. I think I'm actually on the Montana side this time, so hopefully I can avoid that. As far as I know, I don't have any warrants out, but... And here's my hitch spot. Illegal to hitch over there, not over here, right?
Initially, I didn't have much luck, but after about 20 minutes, somebody showed up to drop off their son who was through hiking northbound and went ahead and gave me a ride into West Yellowstone.
First step, coffee, then a plan. Okay, a little better. Got coffee and I'm prioritizing things. Permit, then wilderness store, then food.
The backcountry permit guy was named Stuart in the visitor center at West Yellowstone, and he was super helpful and enthusiastic and got on the phone to override a campsite and get me in at Summit Lake.
Okay, and I was able to get my Summit Lake permit, which means I am all set to get through this damn thing. And next is the gear, then food, because they ain't gonna run out of food. Okay, well, so much for the plan for the water filter. So what do you do when you can't stomach these anymore? Homemade versions. Since I went overboard a bit coming out of Lima, I'm trying to do a better job on this carry. We'll see. Watch me end up running out of food here. I've also been trying to rush because I know I have a couple hours of charging. I didn't find any place I could leave my battery, and there were no functional plugs outside the store or any other place I spent time.
Unable to find any better option, I ended up back at the visitor center camping at one of the plugs in the corner. Unfortunately, I had to stay here for 3 or 4 hours. Finally, a little before 3 p.m., I decided I had enough power to make it the next 150 miles and set off back to trail trying to hitch.
After sitting around for way longer than I wanted, I lucked out, and a guy named Skippy basically pulled over right as I was getting on the 20. So I've got my permit. I think I have enough food to get me through 150 miles, hopefully. And was able to replace some of my consumables like fuel, the wipes I use for toilet paper, and hand sanitizer. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to find a plug outside of the store. So the whole time I was in the store, and the whole time I was triaging food, basically repackaging it so I have less trash and less volume, that was wasted. And then I had to go back to the permit office because that's the one place where I could actually find a plug, and sat there for, I don't know, from like 11 till 2:30 in order to get my 20K back up to full. The newer 20K is like what I have charged in just 3 or 4 hours with the right wall plug, which is way better than the old 7 to 8 hour charge time of my older batteries. But still, if you can't overlap stuff, that can be annoying. So permit wise, I have what Jen was able to arrange for me over the phone. All I needed was a walk-in at Summit Lake. And apparently the deal is, normally each of the backcountry sites in Yellowstone is just that. It's just a site. So they only put a single group in there at a time. Except if you say you're a CDT hiker, they'll start stacking us. So when I get to Summit Lake, it's not just going to be me there. It's going to be me plus some other people. But apparently they are not as crowded as, say, the glacier ones, where it was not really feeling like a backcountry experience with people everywhere. So everything is now set. It is currently the 15th, and by the 19th I should be out of Yellowstone and back to dispersed camping in the Tetons. My food carry is another heavy one because I don't really have time to screw around at Old Faithful, some of those other places, due to the mileages involved. So I have about 150 miles until Lava Mountain Lodge, and that is on the trail and lets me avoid having to go into Du Bois. Jen is mailing me a package there. The reason why I don't want to go into Du Bois is just the usual thing. It takes time to hitch in and out. So this place has everything I need and should have cheaper rooms. My cheapest option in West Yellowstone, if I'd gone in last night, was going to be $140, $150. And just in this last section, since leaving Jen at Lima, I am really filthy. I really wanted to do like a shower, maybe laundry at West Yellowstone, but timing didn't work out. So by the time I hit Lava Mountain Lodge, I am going to be good and ready. The one big thing I wasn't able to get replaced in West Yellowstone was my water filter. It's been getting rather clogged, and back flushing doesn't do a whole hell of a lot. And Taters had seen some quick draws at one of the river outfitters, but no joy. They did have tablets, but I'm not personally the biggest fan of chemical filtration. Takes really clear, really awesome tasting, mountain spring water, and makes it taste like bleach, chlorine, etc. So I do have another SOBO here in the area, and also in addition to the permit restrictions, it's going to get kind of interesting here water-wise. So I had to do a 15-mile thing today to basically get to the last water source before Yellowstone. And then tomorrow, once I leave camp, I'm going to be dry for about 24 miles, which will be the entire day into Summit Lake. Now, at the very least, it's easier days. You can see I'm not going up anything like yesterday. 25 miles was the longest dry carry I had on either the PCT or the AT, incidentally. For once the CDT is the nicer path. So it looks like that's West Yellowstone where I was this morning. You can see the airport that Taters flew out of right there too. That's different. "8:30 and unfortunately I've got another 3 or 4 miles to go. I am just dragging. The pack is heavy, and due to lack of water, I can't stop today or tomorrow. And after that, I can't stop due to, the whole having to camp where I'm permitted." Just past where my new friend Tava was camped back there. But unfortunately, I really need water for tonight. Unless I'm just going to say screw it and go to bed. Which I'm tempted by, but rarely ends up being a good choice for me. 2.5 miles more. Okay, made the spring. That's about a half mile off trail over in Idaho, as it would turn out, at about 9:30. I'm less than thrilled to be hiking in kind of a spooky feeling area at night by myself, but what you gonna do? Home sweet home for the night.